Hey guys, it's Koetting here, and today I want to teach you the step-by-step instructions for creating your own servitor. This is a request that I've gotten a lot on my live chats. I've also had people message me asking me for some simple instructions on how to create a servitor. So I've looked through all of my grimoires, I've gotten all of my magical manuals out, and I have condensed this process into 3 easy steps. Now, before I give you these 3 steps, I want to tell you what a servitor is. A servitor is a spirit that you create to serve you in a specific function. So you can have servitors that can help you with your finances. You can have other servitors that are protectors and guardians that will protect you from harm. You can have servitors for pretty much any function or any intention that you want to set. For the most part, servitors are temporary, that you'll employ them for a certain amount of time for a certain task, and then once that task is over, or once that time has elapsed, that you then retire that servitor. You dissolve their essence back into the void. Again, I've looked through all of the available books in the world on how to create servitors. How to create tulpas in some systems, or thought forms. See, some people will say that a servitor is a thought form. A thought form is really the first step of a servitor, because you want a servitor to not just be a thought form, but you want it to be fully embodied with all the power that it's going to need to fulfill its purpose. And so here's the 3 steps to creating your own servitor. The first step is to create it mentally. The second step is to create it physically. The third step is to create it astrally. Now I'm going to break those down for you in a bit better of instruction. But if you can remember that, create it first mentally, and then create it physically, and then create it energetically or astrally, that's the pathway to creating the servitor. So to create it mentally, you actually want to create a character sketch. What is it going to do? What's its function? What are you creating it for? What's its purpose? What are some of its powers and abilities? What's its name? What does it look like? I actually do recommend sitting and either sketching and drawing these things out, or writing and journaling some of these details. Because you want to get a clear idea, not just of what this entity looks like, but who it is as a fully rounded entity of its own. Some of the things to definitely make sure you include are its name. It absolutely needs to have a name. You can just create a name. You can create a name with a random name generator you can find online, or you can enter into a meditative state and let yourself channel the appropriate name. Another thing to consider as you're mentally creating your servitor is what are you going to feed it? What is it going to live off of? Specific incenses? Specific offerings? Is it going to feed off of getting the job done? I've done that for a few of them, that each time they accomplish part of the task, they will actually vampirize the energy from the situation and take that on to feed themselves. But decide for yourself, what's going to feed this spirit? And then also, what are some of its preferences? Colors, incenses. How many candles would you like to have on the altar? Start to feel these things out. And you can just simply create these, because you are going to be installing these into your creation of this servitor. So then step 2 is to create it physically. And so you're going to do this by creating a sigil. And so you can just let yourself channel lines and loops and whatever else comes to you to create a sigil for that spirit. Or you can use the Rose Cross Layman or online sigil generators to help you generate a unique sigil for your spirit. You'll also want to create some sort of lamp or idol. You can use simple modeling clay or children's Play-Doh to make a simple temporary idol that this spirit can inhabit. These are also called lamps, because it's almost like the genie in the lamp. And so this is where the spirit resides in when it's not in the world, active, doing what it needs to do, or when it's not being evoked, speaking to you. Now, step 3, to create it astrally, this is done through evocation. So using the sigil that you've created, using the name that you've created and the visualization of what this spirit looks like, as well as the candles, the incense, all of the details that you have created around this spirit, bring these all together in a ritual of evocation to summon forth this spirit into the incense smoke in front of you. Now, the first evocation is going to be underwhelming, almost guaranteed, because this is the first time you're bringing this spirit to life. But this first evocation is a spark of life. Continue to evoke your servitor for anywhere between 3 to 7 days. Each day you're going to notice that the servitor grows, its power grows, its ability to assume a visible form will grow. And then after 7 days, that servitor is ready to get to work in your life. Now make sure that you set a date where you're going to retire this servitor. Now you can burn the idol and the sigil to release the servitor from this world. Smash the idol and bury the pieces or throw them in a river. And then thank that spirit. Release it from your life and let go. And its essence will re-enter everything. It will be reabsorbed into the abyss. So my final advice would be to take each of those 3 steps to create it mentally, create it physically, and then create it astrally, and really dive deep into each step. Don't rush your way through it. Actually take your time creating the idea of the being that you're going to be summoning. And then take your time creating an idol that it will inhabit. And then take your time performing these evocations day after day to bring this spirit into life. Now, you don't necessarily have to retire this spirit if it's one that you intend on working with for the rest of your life. But you will need to continue to feed it whatever you had installed into it at the time of its creation. And so you're going to need to continue to feed it, to nurture it, and to give it more than anything, your continued time and attention.